7 News reporter Ann Keil is live with this exclusive from Northwest Miami-Dade. Ann.
Well, I did speak with that young girl who tells me that she is afraid to leave her home. That as police officers are going door to door asking the public for answers, asking the public for tips on who opened fire in the middle of a celebration about peace.
These boys, they started fighting. Then when we turned around, we just heard a gunshot, and I just started running because I was scared.
The shots captured and posted to social media. One of the youngest victims hit 13-year-old Kiana Green. She was grazed by a bullet as she ran for her life out of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Park around 3:40 in the afternoon.
Then I felt something hot hit me, and it was burning me, but I just kept running.
She says in the chaos, after 8 people had been shot, 5 under the age of 18, strangers rushed her into their Northwest Miami-Dade home to get her out of danger.
I just told somebody to help me.
Only thing that was on my mind was my little sister, and I hope I just don't get shot again.
Luckily, everyone hurt is expected to be okay, but the nightmare of a day may never leave them.
On Martin Luther King Day, every year this community comes together to celebrate with this great parade. Yet we're here not talking about the parade. Hey, get rescued on the corner! But the aftermath.
Our cameras rolling as Alexander Brito Peralta and Tavarius Flowers were arrested and charged for having guns on them, but not for the shooting. Flowers also facing a child abuse charge after telling police he left his kids with his gun under the playground as he searched for his 3rd son.
People who know need to speak. The code of silence needs to be broken.
When we don't turn them in, we're telling them and sending the message, you can continue doing it because we're not going to tell.
Help us strike back with our cause by turning in these perpetrators.
Have any information on the shooting that took place at on Martin Luther King Day at the park?
Thought I was going to die that day because the gunshots, they were so close, it was right there.
And officers are handing out this flyer of the shooters. As you can see, though, there are no pictures, just the description of 2 young men, possibly between 18 and 19 years old. Again, no arrests in the actual shooting. So if you have any information for police, you're urged to call Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers. That number 305-471-TIPS. And as you can see on your screen, the reward is now $21,000. If you have information that could lead to an arrest, you may be eligible for that reward. Also, you can remain anonymous. Reporting live in Northwest Miami-Dade, Ann Keil, 7 News. 2 little kids and their mother are being treated at 2 separate hospitals tonight. They are not spending the night together, separated after Miami-Dade police tell us a man went on a wild and dangerous ride in one of their cruisers. The aftermath caught on camera.
I heard this sliding motion of a vehicle, like sliding, and then an impact. Real loud.
This is cell phone video of a fatal crash on Southwest 99th Avenue in Coral Way. Witnesses rushing to help the man inside the Miami-Dade police cruiser.
You know, my first reaction was, is there? The guy is still there.
Police say the man who did not survive had just stolen the cruiser from one of its officers near Southwest 16th Street and 107th Avenue, lost control, sideswiped a Honda Civic going in the opposite direction, then T-boned a Chevy Suburban with a family inside at 1:45 Saturday. Minutes earlier, officers had gotten a call about something suspicious.
As the officers were conducting the investigation, an unknown subject had entered one of the police cars and had fled in an unknown direction.
This is where sources tell 7 News the terrifying ordeal began. A quiet restaurant. Inside, Natural Chicken Grill, a big black bag is left behind on a table. Concerned employees call police, and this responding officer checks it out. That's when we're told her cruiser was swiped.
Sometimes a minor call that they get, which is not an emergency, could turn to be something a lot bigger than what it is.
There were kids inside the mangled Suburban who are 2 and 8 years old. They were rushed to Nicholas Children's Hospital in serious condition, but police say they are stable. Their mother was rushed to Kendall Regional Medical Center in the same condition. A tragic crash where strangers pitched in, risking their lives to help a family in need.
We opened the door. I took the first child out of the car. I put her on the floor because I wanted to get everybody out.
And police have not identified the people hurt in this crash or the man they say stole one of their cruisers. They did, however, tell us that speed was a factor in that crash. Reporting live outside Kendall Regional Medical Center, Ann Keil, 7 News 19. While the commander-in-chief on vacation, the White House has been largely silent about his weekend activities, but this weekend proving to be quite active regardless. President Donald Trump taking a working vacation at his golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey, and he's certainly paying attention to the UN Security Council that just unanimously approved new sanctions on North Korea. Its fragile economy being targeted with a ban on 1/3 of the country's top exports. The move in response to North Korea's successful tests of intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of reaching the U.S. last month. National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster going on the record on MSNBC saying President Trump has been briefed on U.S. military options.
Are we preparing plans for a preventive war, right? A war that would prevent North Korea from threatening the United States with a nuclear weapon. And the president's been very clear about it. He said he's not going to tolerate.
Meantime, McMaster's predecessor, Michael Flynn, still on the radar. Russia's former ambassador to the U.S. spoke about him in an interview on Russian state TV.
There are a few topics that are important to U.S.-Russia cooperation. First of all, it's terrorism. This was one of the topics we discussed. This conversation was proper, calm, and absolutely transparent. There were no secrets, at least on our side.
Russia-U.S. relations certainly a hot topic. CNN has learned that a grand jury has issued subpoenas related to the June 2016 meeting between a Russian lawyer and Trump campaign officials. The special counsel, Robert Mueller, reportedly seeking both documents and testimony. This as the investigation widens, with Mueller digging into President Trump's finances. For the president, that's going too far. He's warned that delving into his business is a, quote, violation. Mr. Trump has maintained there's no collusion and he has no financial ties to Russia.
And I can tell you, speaking for myself, I own nothing in Russia. I have no loans in Russia. I don't have any deals in Russia.
And as for the new UN resolution focused on North Korea, it was drafted by the U.S. and negotiated with China, the country's biggest ally. The aim to increase economic pressure to get back to negotiations on North Korea's nuclear and missile programs. Live in the Plex, Ann Keil, 7 News.
It looks like a big printer, but this machine has far greater capabilities. This is the Andy 6C Rapid DNA Analysis System. In short, it can tell detectives about a DNA match 2 hours after the evidence swabs are loaded into the machine.
This is probably a lot closer to the fantasy that is television CSI.
The Miami Beach Police Department chief clearly excited about taking the latest in DNA technology testing for a test drive with the help of Miami-Dade Police. A no-cost pilot program is in the works that could help catch the bad guys sooner. He says they've seen some success over the last 3 months. The technology identified the suspect in a shooting on May 27th over the Memorial Day weekend. Crime scene technician Courtney Venezia, who showed us around the machine, did the field work.
We actually swab the entire surface of the firearm, and we were able to connect that that was definitely the subject that handled that firearm.
The test results also pointed to this man after a July 16th fatal hit and run.
We matched the gear shift of a car that was used in a hit and run to the suspect who we had arrested for a vehicular homicide.
Even if the machine is unable to discover a DNA match, it can also be used to eliminate suspects and reduce the amount of resources used on false leads.
Keep in mind, this is just a test run. The first bit of DNA evidence collected from a scene or suspect will always go to the Miami-Dade Police Department's forensic lab, and that will be used in court, a lab that the chief says is inundated with requests from 35 area police agencies. Backlogs, a several-month wait, prioritizing cases, all part of their current reality that could improve with a machine like this.
It's technology that the military has used in the battle arena for some time to identify basically suspected terrorists, and it's evolving into American law enforcement. It is the future.
On Miami Beach, Ann Keil, 7 News.
Jennifer. Here. Julian.
Yes, sir. He may be young, but Tristan Balea is big time at the Hollywood Police Department.
We have a business burglary and we have a regular burglary.
Move over, Chief. He wants your job. Well, for the day.
Everybody was calling him Chief Tristan. He was telling me in secret that now for sure I know what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life.
Go out and get in the streets.
That's when he's an adult. For now, this third grader said he will settle for a quick practice round on a simulator. And a lesson in fingerprinting and surveillance.
I want to be an officer to help people.
A desire to help people developed through his own cancer fight. Little Tristan was diagnosed with leukemia 2 years ago and is in remission after some intense treatment at Joe DiMaggio's Children's Hospital.
The cancer is very hard, very tough on you.
A tough battle that won't dim this bright smile or apparent love for Italian food.
I want calamate or fresh bread.
They have all the above there.
The chief took him out for lunch. What's a tour of a police department without a fun ride? Right now we are inside the police department's Bearcat and Tristan is having a good time.
Hollywood Police Department SWAT unit. Please move out of the way, this is very heavy. I really like the SWAT team. I got to play with the sirens.
Tristan, get on the other side.
Tristan has clearly found a few new friends, including department veteran and fellow cancer survivor, Lieutenant John Marino.
Yeah, you can beat it and you can do whatever you want after that.
I want him just to be silly and be himself, but you know, I guess dream big.
Hi, Mom.
Thinks he's working.
Lots of respect. Like when I enter the conference room, like all the officers stand up to me. Very, very nice to feel that experience. I'm 8 years old and I'm a cancer survivor.
In Hollywood.
So happy you're okay.
Ann Keil, 7 News.